Hi everybody and welcome to today's episode of the Live Well panel. I'm Sarah Crawley, I'm the Director of Wellness at Boots, and today we're going to be talking about meditation and mindfulness, and I'm delighted that we're joined today by Dr. Megan Jones-Bell, Chief Scientist Officer at Headspace. Welcome Megan. I can see you're over in sunny LA. I'm very envious of your setup right now. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, well, it's great to have you here. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Headspace is an amazing app-based meditation program that can really help to support mental well-being. And it's something that I've been using on and off for a good few years. I actually started using it when I was trying to conceive a baby a few years ago and was finding it really, really tough, both mentally and emotionally. And so for me, it really, really helped using it at that time. And I've been a big fan ever since. So I'm really excited that at Boots, we're now partnering with the amazing team at Headspace to help more of our customers find new ways to manage their mental well-being. So Megan, I know that meditation and mindfulness are kind of the buzzwords of today, but there's definitely some kind of hippie connotations that I think still exist with both meditation and mindfulness, despite so many people now using them. So tell me, what is meditation?
Meditation, as you mentioned, has been around for thousands of years, but it's really a practice that is anchored in awareness. There are multiple different techniques by which you can practice meditation. We at Headspace teach mindfulness meditation, which is really about learning to be aware of your experiences in the present moment, to not get lost in thought about what happened in the past or anticipate or worry about what's coming in the future. Typically, mindfulness meditation is using breath as an anchor for awareness. So you'll be guided to be aware of your breath, notice it, perhaps count it. But you can also use other tools like being aware of your physical surroundings, sound, or other kind of attentional anchors. The goal with meditation is to learn how to practice this skill and then bring mindfulness into all aspects of your life. And so it's really this complement of formal training and practice of meditation, and then mindful living, which is where you can apply that present moment awareness and compassion to all that you do, whether it's, when you're preparing a meal, to be present with the ingredients, the smells, while you're going for a walk, to be, aware of how your feet feel as they're hitting the pavement, or noticing the sights and sounds around you, but to really kind of get the most out of each and every moment, and help us find that sense of calm and focus, kind of regardless of our circumstances.
That's great. Thank you so much for explaining it. And I think that whole difference between mindfulness and meditation, it isn't something that I'd really clocked before, actually. And the fact that mindfulness is more of a, the sense of being aware and mindful. And I definitely feel like since I've had more time at home and kind of not rushing around commuting to the office and doing the nursery pickup, that I feel like I've definitely had more time to appreciate some of those little things and find joy in some of the smaller things. So I hope that others have too. One of the other things that I think is really fascinating about meditation, and I know that you guys at Headspace have done loads of work in this field, is actually like how it works and the impact that it has on the brain. Tell me a bit more about kind of what you found in this space.
When we are training our brains to be, aware, slow down, focus on the present moment, what's actually happening in our brain over time, so this is this kind of compound interest of practice, is that we are activating the prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain, that's responsible for critical thinking, decision making, focus. And we are actually turning down the activation in our amygdala, which is the center of our brain that's responsible for emotional reactivity. So you can think about it as turning down the thermostat on how intense our emotions actually are. Meaning that we have what we call more equanimity, meaning that when stressful things happen, we're able to meet those same situations with more ease, calm, or we're able to be more intentional in our behavior. So I like to think about it personally as I can kind of instead of getting tossed around in the waves, I can kind of step onto the shore and watch them crash rather than feeling like they're crashing over me.
Like a calm swan kicking underneath, but kind of gliding through.
Yeah. And it's never perfect, right? The reality of this is that you're going to switch back and forth. For me, this is something that I feel like I get a black belt in training because I have a 3-year-old. So it's this constant exercise of, getting back pulled in and being aware, okay, I'm in the mix. I need to step out and get some perspective so I can, be more effective at how I handle the situation and, not get so stressed out by this tiny person.
I can totally vouch for that. I've got a 2-year-old running about who hopefully isn't going to run in this room at any moment. But yeah, you definitely do need those to find those moments of inner strength, because it can be incredibly testing and rewarding at the same time. Now, one of the things that we referenced up front was the fact that we're going through really uncharted waters at the moment in terms of the whole global COVID situation. And based on all of that, we have seen stress and anxiety levels skyrocket for some people. How do you think meditation can help people who are kind of struggling with these kind of new pressures that are coming from the COVID situation?
Well, we've really seen the same thing at Headspace. We've seen actually a 14x increase. So people looking for help reducing stress and anxiety 14 times more often. So, and we've doubled downloads. So it's really clear that people are looking for new ways of managing these emotions that are affecting all of us. I think the uncertainty that we've been in around, what's actually going on, when is it going to be over, what is the new normal. Uncertainty is a really hard place for people to be psychologically, and that does come with heightened stress, anxiety, worry. And so meditation specifically has been shown to buffer the effects of chronic stress and enhance our ability to actually recover from stress. We've shown actually that Headspace specifically does increase resilience and can actually help you extinguish your fears through practice over time. And so part of that is, when I talk about the benefits of meditation in terms of how it affects our brain, this really is seen in this brain-body connection of breathing by itself actually activates our body's natural relaxation response. So there's an immediate benefit of slowing down, breathing deeply and evenly. And then there's this added benefit over time of this awareness training through mindfulness meditation, where you learn how to catch your thoughts as they're starting to project into the future of what if that's going to happen, that worry cycle. When you're aware of it, you're actually able to step out of it and come back to where you are right now. And that's, that requires skill and practice. But people are really able to learn how to do that, and it can decrease our overall experience of anxiety and worry.
Mm-hmm. It's great to hear how many more people are kind of actively finding solutions and, using products such as Headspace to kind of help manage through this time, because you're right. I think it kind of plays into what you were talking about earlier. There's, this gives you an element of control in terms of how you kind of, you manage yourself and kind of your emotions at a time when actually a lot of things are out of our control. So I definitely think we'll probably see even more people take it up during this time. So tell me, how did Headspace come about? I know that there's quite an interesting story behind it.
There is. So it's a pretty typical founding story. A former Buddhist monk meets a burned out advertising exec, and they start a world-class app. So actually, Andy Puttycombe, who's the meditation expert behind Headspace, he's the voice of much of our content. Andy had gone through some personal challenges, lost a number of close people to him, and through tragic events, but had been introduced to meditation by his mom as a child. And so I decided to go to a monastery, was an ordained Buddhist monk for 10 years, but really decided that his vision above all else was to bring mindfulness to the masses, to actually normalize this practice, to demystify it and make it more accessible for people. So he decided to leave the monastery, come back and open a meditation clinic. And that's actually how he met Rich Pearson, who's our co-founder and CEO. He met Rich. Rich was had been a kind of very successful at a young age in advertising, but was burning out. Had decided to learn acupuncture, was kind of in that same I'm open to anything space. I met Andy and they did a skill swap. So Andy taught Rich how to meditate and Rich taught Andy how to actually create a brand. And then eventually Rich convinced Andy to make an app after wanting to do so for a while. Andy had kind of missed the internet, living in a monastery for 10 years. So it took a little while for him to warm up to the idea, but I think he's pretty glad he did.
That's an amazing story, and what I love as well is how you talked about how, you know, your mission is to bring mindfulness to the masses and democratize it and make it available for everybody. And at Boots, that's very much our mission as well. You know, we want to help our customers with whatever their needs and make things accessible to everybody. So I hope through the work that we're doing together that we can start to have that conversation on mental well-being. And for those of our customers or people who are watching this today that really want to get into meditation and mindfulness, what would be your kind of top tips as they start their journey?
I think it's helpful to start with the duration of practice that feels most approachable to you. As a behavioral scientist, I really like to set people up for success in creating new routines and developing new skills. And so that sense of self-efficacy of I can do it really matters a lot in whether or not you're going to be able to maintain this long term. And so whether that's starting with a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute meditation, I'd really encourage you to customize the duration to whatever feels most comfortable because you can always build on it. But if it feels like too much to actually sit down and close your eyes and meditate, a really effective way of applying mindfulness is through engaging in an eyes open exercise, like doing in the Headspace app, we have mindful movement. So you can do a workout actually with that weaves in a mindful approach. You can take a walk that adds a mindful layer to it. We also have eyes open cooking exercises, mindful eating content, as well as thousands of hours of content around, you know, helping you find calm and wind down before you go to sleep at night.
I love that. I love that whole idea of, yeah, just kind of taking what you're doing and being more aware. I actually found myself, I was cleaning the other night, it's become my new isolation hobby, keeping the house clean. And I actually found it really relaxing. You know, I was kind of in the zone. It was a moment for me. I was just focused on what I was doing. And I definitely felt a sense of what you're talking about here around kind of, you know, that mindfulness notion. So, yeah, I'm all for kind of doing it. I think, yeah, finding that moment in time every day that you can do it, but also finding ways to slot it into your day to day to make it easy and accessible. And like, how does it work in terms of, you know, if people practice it more often, are there like, do the benefits get better the longer you do it?
They do. There is a compound interest effect of practicing meditation over time. You'll experience immediate benefits of relaxation and improved focus after just a single session. We've demonstrated that with Headspace, and that's really because of the physiological changes that come from slowing down, deep breathing. So that's really a relaxation response in the kind of immediate benefit. But over time, so after about 3 weeks or a month of practicing meditation for at least 10 minutes most days a week, you will start to experience decreased stress, increased resilience, more compassionate behavior. The brain changes happen after a longer period of time. So we're actually doing a brain imaging study right now using Headspace, actually two of them, to understand kind of how early we start to see these changes in our brains. But we do know that sustained practice over a period of time, this is, you know, several months, if not a year, can actually change our brain structure and function in a more durable way. And so certainly would encourage people to, you know, use this in the moment. But this is really just like a physical activity routine of whether it's, running, walking, whatever it is for you, finding that routine with mindfulness and meditation that you can maintain over time is really going to be beneficial for your long-term mental and physical health.
Wow, that's amazing. Those stats and kind of the impact that it has on the brain, it's really, really is staggering. And it's been fascinating today talking to you and learning more about the world of meditation and mindfulness. And I fully agree. I think looking after our mental well-being is as important as looking after our physical well-being. And I think we should all try and find ways to build it into our daily routine, as much as we do kind of the physical side of things. So thank you so much, Megan, for joining us today. Enjoy the sunshine over in LA. I hope we get to talk again, because I think there's so much that we could talk about on this topic. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Today we've heard about how meditation and mindfulness can really help manage overall mental well-being. But if you feel like you're struggling with your mental health, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with your GP.